All right, I thought I'd give you my thoughts about Indian students being deported from United States or Western countries for protesting, against Israel about the problems that are going on in between Israel and Palestine. Okay, I'll give you my thoughts, and I would love to know your thoughts as well. Now, the example that I want to give you is this Indian female. Her name is Ranjani Srinivasan. Okay, Ranjani or Ranjani. Okay, so Ranjani Srinivasan is. I've taken down the summary, summary of the points. So it's easier for you to understand if in case you're not aware of what's happening. So this female, her name is Ranjani Srinivasan, is a PhD student in the urban planning at Columbia University, one of the most prestigious ones. She has a bachelor's degree from CEPT University in Ahmedabad. I don't know what's that. Anyway, you can Google search. And the master's degree from Harvard University. Very impressive. Very impressive. I nothing but respect to Ranjani Srinivasan because Harvard. I mean, you either have to have 20 million US dollars to donate, or you really need to be creme de la creme. And she has already, I think she is 0.00001% of the students in the world. So good. Okay. Her research focuses on land and labor relations in the peri-urban India and political economy of development. Okay. Urban development. Let's keep it simple for my small little brains to understand. And if you're not too intellectually blessed like me, it's enough for us to know she was doing advanced urban planning. Okay. So on March 5th, today is March 15th, so 10 days ago, the US government revoked her F1 student visa. They accused her of supporting violence, terrorism, specifically linking her to Hamas, a terrorist group. This is the normal narrative bullshit that hardcore Republicans or the Western individuals who support Israel. So any kind of criticism, you can criticize Hindus, you can criticize Muslims, you can criticize Christians, you can criticize anyone and everyone in the world in any country, but the minute it goes to Israel, it's you get tagged with the. That's the easiest thing to do. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Oh, you are, anti whatever. Like for example, when I post videos and expose the crimes that have been done by, say, Indians abroad, they say I'm anti-Indian. If I speak about Hindus, Hindus who do bad things, I'm anti-Hindu. And if I do it for Muslims, it's anti-Muslim. And then obviously people spin their own narrative. Oh, what you mean to say is, and then they'll put some bullshit that I've never said. Like, for example, when I point out about the rape crimes that are happening with some of our Indians. And I use this sentence specifically that if we take the Pareto principle, out of 100%, say 80% are good and 20% are bad. Let's reduce it. 10% are bad. So in a population of 1.4 billion, 10% is, 140 million people. So good, bad. So how can you trust people that easily? And 140 million people, they are bad, or they can be criminals, or they can do harm, or they can be fraudsters or rapists or whatever. So that's what I had said. The narrative that this individual put is, what? You are saying all Indians. First, the claim was You're saying all Indians are rapists. I said, where in my video did I say all Indians are rapists? Or you're saying that 140 million Indians are rapists. So I asked her, where did I say it? So you see, they put words in your mouth. I remember the famous debate between Jordan Peterson and that lady. And every time Jordan Peterson would say something, her response was, so what you're trying to say or what you mean to say is, and then she would put her bullshit. So Jordan Peterson said, that's not what I said. Stop putting words in my mouth. Okay? Stop giving your own spin. So in the same way here, if anybody supports Palestine and says, don't kill children, don't kill the fathers, the mothers, don't kill innocent families, don't kill people who are just like, normal families. So then if you say don't kill, oh, you're supporting Hamas or you're supporting the terrorists. You see how they take it out of context. And the best example for this is Piers Morgan's show, where every time he brings a Palestinian guest or someone who supports Palestine, the first question he'll ask is, do you support Hamas? Or do you criticize Hamas? Or will you criticize Hamas? But when he brings an Israeli guest or someone who supports Israel, he will never ask them, do you support the IDFC or whatever? Do you support Israel killing of Palestine? But when he brings a Palestinian, do you support the murder of innocent lives in Israel? So you see the double standards. And you can't help it, but you have to comply with it. And I'll tell you why. Because these are the people in power. When they are in power, might is right, like they say. For example, I'm staying in Thailand. So I can criticize the BJP, I can criticize Hindus, I can criticize Indian Muslims, I can criticize Indian Christians, I can criticize the Indian movies, I can criticize Indian men and Indian women. Okay? I'm talking of just a general sense. But if I was in India, and then if I start putting these videos, well, let's say I criticize Hindus, a large gathering of Hindus can come and beat me up or, launch an FIR against me, make claims about me, try to harm me, hurt me, because they have strength in numbers. And it is in India. I'm at their mercy. But when I'm not there, I'm free to express my opinions. In the same way, when I was in Dubai, if I were to criticize Dubai, Islam, Muslims, or anything related to the Middle East region, if I would post an article or if I would even post a video, I would not only be jailed, I would be deported after a lengthy jail time. And sometimes they even have put people in jail for from 5 years to even 30 years, depending on how serious, if you criticize, let's say, the ruling family. Okay. But today, when I'm not there, I can do it. So in the same way, what I'm trying to tell you here is this female, she was supporting the Palestinian people. She was supporting maybe for a good cause. Maybe she was saying, don't kill children. Don't kill mothers, fathers. Let there be peace. But they can twist the narrative and say that, no, you're supporting terrorism. You're supporting Hamas. You are encouraging terrorism. And that's exactly what they did. So the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Christy Noem, very bad at names here, said that people who support terrorism shouldn't stay in U.S. Now, I don't think this female who has worked so hard to get a PhD, so hard to go to United States, so hard to have a good life, that she supports terrorism. However, the mistake that she did make is when you're going to US, you're going there to study, you're going there as a student. Your job is to study. Don't get into all this politics and don't get into all this masala which does not feed you, does not feed your family, does not take care of you, does not help your career. Now, now that she had to leave USA, you see what an inconvenience it is. Had she not taken part in all this political bullshit, nobody would have touched her. She would have continued, kept a low profile, and had a good life. So, she, uh, you know, it's a very bad decision that she made, an error on judgment. That's what I would say. A video of Srinivasan at the airport was shared on March 11th after she voluntarily left the US. After a visa was revoked, Srinivasan used the Customs and Border Protection (CBP) home app to process her voluntary departure on March 11th. That is 4 days before. The CBP home app was created by the Trump administration to let people leave the US voluntarily, avoiding arrest or forced deportation. So she didn't want to get insulted, humiliated, and have maybe, the embarrassment of being put in jail, or maybe, being put behind bars is not a very good thing. So then it says the US government's decision was part of a wider effort to target foreign students linked with pro-Palestinian activism or any kind of movement. Other students like Lika Cordia, who is a Palestinian, and Mahmoud Khalil, former Columbia graduate, were also affected. I think both of them are Palestinians. US officials, President J.D. Vance, warned most students or green card holders might face deportation if they are involved in activities that US sees as a threat to national security. Like I told you, my humble opinion, you come there to study, just study, focus on your shit. Why do you want to get involved in all this? Because, yes, maybe you're doing something noble, but it's not going to help your career. It's not going to help your family. It's not going to help your bank balance. I know many of you will say that, oh, what if then should you just be money-minded? Should you just ignore and not be a human? If you have that much money and if you have that much time and you're willing to pay the price, please go ahead and be as big an activist as you want. Go ahead. Then don't cry when the people in power, they deport you or they destroy your life. Because always remember, might is right. You can't help it. Yes, this is maybe, even I absolutely hate war. I absolutely hate what is being done to the Palestinian people. Okay, I've made videos on this and I've shared it. But then it's an opinion. What can we do? And if in case, suppose there comes a new law, let's say a new law in Thailand that says you cannot support Palestinians at all, well, I'm not going to go and support the Palestinians, no matter how heartfelt I would feel about it. You need to use a little bit of common sense. For me, I prefer being practical. I don't like being emotional because at the end of the day, if you're logical and you're smart and you use your brains, you're saved. Otherwise, you will get jacked. Like in her case, now she has to leave US and go to Canada. Is it going to be better? I don't know. Okay. But I definitely know that all the years, months, the weeks, whatever, all the time that she spent, the investment, everything in US, relationships, all gone. Now she has to go start all over again. Before starting her PhD, she worked for an environmental nonprofit in Washington, D.C., focusing on climate change and at-risk communities. She was involved in West Philadelphia Landscape Project at MIT. But she has faced criticism for her activism and academic background, especially from far right-wing figures in US and India. Some have also criticized her use of gender-neutral pronouns. Well, like I told you, sometimes people, the more they study, the more they get educated, I think the more mad they become. Gender-neutral pronoun. She sounds like a very hardcore activist. I guess if you're a hardcore activist and you say my pronouns are they, them, and zimzer and baba, then you will pay a price here. Anyway, Supporters of MAGA, Make America Great Again movement, and some Indian nationalists mocked Srinivasan's deportation on social media. Some speculated she would go to Canada, although it's unclear if she plans to return to India. Well, I don't know. I would just say that you have already taken a step to go to the West. Settle down there. Keep a low profile. But if you have that much, like they say, Raymond Kida, if you have that much itch under your ass and you still want to continue with the activism, go ahead and do it, and eventually you'll be kicked out. And then once you go to India, well, I hope she doesn't criticize the BJP and Hindus. Then she'll have another problem. Broader political implications. This incident shows the rising tension between student activism related to Israel-Palestinian conflict. Students, please, your job is to study. Don't get into all this. And if you do get into all this, there's a price to pay. Then be willing to pay the price. And it's not only you who's going to suffer, your parents as well. Because right now, that guy, Palestinian Mohammed Khalil and Lika Kordai, I mean, they must be not having, peace of mind. Just imagine if you're a Palestinian and you're sent back to Palestine. Finished, right? It reflects growing security scrutiny of foreign nationals in the US who are linked to controversial movements. The US law enforced is investigating whether universities like Columbia are harboring individuals involved with activities considered harmful for US security. See, I'd just like to conclude by saying this. Everything that you do has a price to pay. Every single thing that you do. Okay? So the question is, are you willing to pay the price? Yes, US is a democracy, freedom of speech, all that blah, blah, blah. Very good. Clap hands, clap hands. But that's an illusion. This freedom of speech in France and in US, for example, I'm taking two countries. They will say you can criticize anyone, you can make fun of anyone, you can mock anyone. Yeah, but the minute it goes to Jews and Israel, well, you'll realize it's not free. You can criticize Muslims, Hindus, Christians, any president, any individual. But the minute it goes to Israel and Jews, finished. Anything you say can be manipulated, can be taken out of context, and will be used against you. So it's common sense. So even after knowing all this, if you still do kiragiri, then who's to blame, man? Remember, freedom, they say, freedom of speech. What I've learned to understand is they want you to have freedom of speech as long as it doesn't offend them. The day it offends them, your freedom of speech will come with a price tag. And the price tag is this. You'll either be ostracized, deported, or, blacklisted, blackballed, shadow banned, whatever. And then you have no one to blame but yourself. So if you can pay the price, go ahead and do what you want. Can't pay the price, silence is golden. Good, bad, ugly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is me signing off. Take care.